In our today's episode we will be discussing on mixed signals in India's economic growth story. This week, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MoSPI, released its first estimates of how GDP might perform in FY25. These are called first estimates because MoSPI updates the annual GDP numbers 6 times over nearly 3 years. That's how detailed and complicated calculating GDP can be. The initial estimates are known as advance estimates A and provisional estimates P. Over time, that updated and released is the first re, second re, and third re revised estimates. Source: IGIDR. Because early estimates rely on limited data or high-frequency indicators as proxies, they often have more noise or uncertainty. As more data becomes available, the numbers get refined, and the estimates become more accurate. This process explains why there can be small differences between advance estimates and revised estimates. In fact, research shows that advance estimates often underestimate the actual GDP growth rate. So why use advance estimates when they aren't perfectly accurate? Because the government needs a quick snapshot of the economy to guide policy decisions. Waiting for final numbers would take too long, and by then, it might be too late to act. Even with their limitations, these estimates play a crucial role in shaping timely decisions. Now, let's look at what the latest report says, starting with the headline GDP growth numbers. Real GDP is expected to grow by 6.4% in FY25, down from 8.2% in FY24. This is even lower than the Reserve Bank of India's earlier forecast of 6.6% growth, announced in December. This slowdown lines up with many high-frequency indicators that have been signaling weaker growth, so it's not entirely unexpected. We also discussed this in our year-end roundtable conversation. But the real insights often lie beyond the headline numbers. Here are 3 key takeaways. Source: MoSPI. 1. Manufacturing and mining are struggling. Manufacturing growth has slowed significantly to 5.3%, down from 9.9% last year. Mining growth has dropped to 2.9%, compared to 7.1% last year. Together, these sectors make up about 16% of gross value added (GVA). GVA represents the value added across all sectors, and when you add taxes and subtract subsidies, you get GDP. This slowdown is concerning because it goes against India's push to become a global manufacturing hub. Mining, which includes core industries, is also critical for the economy. Source: MoSPI. On the flip side, agriculture grew by 3.8% this year, up from 1.4% last year. Government spending on public services also accelerated to 9.1%, compared to 7.8% last year. This isn't surprising, rural demand has been catching up with urban demand, thanks to the recent growth in agriculture. 2. Gross fixed capital formation is a growing concern. Gross fixed capital formation, GFCF, a key indicator of investment, grew by just 6.4%, down from 9.0% last year. This slowdown suggests both the government and private companies aren't increasing their investments as quickly as needed. Government spending on capital projects is falling short, with both central and state budgets focusing more on short-term expenses, like administrative costs and salaries, rather than building long-term assets. Source: MoSPI. Source: IndiaDataHub.com. If the government isn't stepping up, private companies need to fill the gap. But that doesn't seem to be happening, and as a result, GFCF growth is slowing. This lack of investment could have serious consequences for long-term growth. 3. Private final consumption expenditure to the rescue. India's economy leans heavily on consumption, which accounts for about 55% of GDP. The latest data shows that private final consumption expenditure, PFCE, grew by 7.3% in real terms and 12.4% in nominal terms. However, this growth isn't evenly spread. Rural consumption is growing faster than urban consumption, as we mentioned earlier. Still, the overall increase in consumption is good news, and if urban demand catches up, it could push this number even higher. Source: MoSPI. There's also an interesting shift in imports. In real terms, imports dropped by 1.3%, but in nominal terms, they rose by 9.9%. What does this mean? We imported fewer goods and services but paid more for them, largely because of currency depreciation. The RBI stepped in to control further depreciation, which helped keep the import bill from climbing even higher. It's worth noting that these insights are based on early data, so we can't draw any firm conclusions just yet. But these numbers do give us a good snapshot of where things stand. We'll keep watching high-frequency indicators to see how the situation unfolds. Tidbits: the Ministry of Heavy Industries in India has put forward a plan to lower the GST on CNG-powered two-wheelers from 28% to 18% and then eventually to 12%. The main goal is to encourage more people to switch to CNG vehicles, in line with India's environmental objectives. Although CNG vehicles have strong demand, the government faces possible challenges such as losing tax revenue and being asked to give similar tax breaks to other types of vehicles. Microsoft is making a big move by investing $3 billion in expanding its AI and Azure services in India. Part of this plan includes training 10 million Indians in AI by 2030. By committing this much money and effort, Microsoft is showing how important India has become in its worldwide AI strategy. Zomato's shares took a 5% hit after Jefferies downgraded the stock. Jefferies pointed to rising competition and pressure to offer deeper discounts as the main reasons behind its more cautious view of Zomato's performance. This edition of the newsletter was written by Krishna and Kashish. Thank you for reading. Do share this with your friends and make them as smart as you are. Winking face join the discussion on today's edition here.